Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Burning Truth.
Hello folks, welcome to The Burning Truth. Yes, it's me. I'm back. Been begged, pleaded, and just financially...
Carry on.
Right then, so for those of us that don't know, now, this is not a video broadcast, this is just an audio broadcast. Now, when your colleague looks at you and goes, he signals across his throat going, yeah, sound doesn't work. Makes me look like a tit, so I'll try again. Are we alright to go, are we?
It was already on, it's been
It was already on apart from you, yeah? You had one job, and you still fucked that up. Saying I can't use the technology. Last week while I was away, eh? You with the fucking spunk bubble over here.
Spunk bubble?
You and the fucking one shot and it's gone.
He's not here.
Sell it bang.
And it's gone.
Right, so
Whoa. Did I invite him? You're the one who left him with me.
I'm back by
Right.
you pleading.
However, wait.
Missed. Please, come back. He even offered paying my flight back. Pleading with me. I know you're having a good time where you are, and I know you probably don't want to come back, but please, can you just come back for the Saturday? I'll pick you up from the airport. We can do the broadcast, and then you can go back. Just please don't leave me with Martin again.
What?
So, no.
Are you expecting me to say untrue?
No, and I'm going to kill another little squabble from last week's broadcast because, I've picked up the highlights. I have my little moles that listen in at certain points, just to make sure, when I'm away, the fucking cat doesn't play.
Whoa. I'm actually the professional out of the two of us.
So, saying I don't know how to use the technology.
You don't know how to use the technology.
If I remember correctly, who was the one who did an episode on their own before?
You haven't done one.
I have done one on my
own.
own.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
I did an episode on Black Friday.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Or is your memory a little bit jaded here? I did one on Black Friday releases. When WWE went on a firing spree.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. It wasn't on Black Friday because if I recall, if it was a Black Friday one, we actually brought that up deliberately because of certain things that were announced on the Black Friday show, if I'm not mistaken. But, no, I have no memory of this.
Yeah, I bet you don't have no memory of this.
No, I have no memory of this for legal reasons.
Yes, because it's gone from your head miraculously.
No. If someone actually reiterates, stop bringing up the past. Right, because if I'm not mistaken, that episode never happened due to certain legal issues.
So it's due to legal issues now. But he does remember said episode.
I never. No. Stop bringing up the past.
Fucking, you keep tripping over that fucking long rope that you're laying yourself over there, Matthew.
Whoa! My name's not a sneeze!
Good old Matthew Burns.
It's Matthew or Matt.
Oh, chew!
No chew.
But no, so I shall deal with Sillet Bang when he gets back. If he gets back, fucking one shot over there. Fucking bounty.
One sheet.
Fucking one sheet's a plenty.
One sheet. Do you sound like that? Just one sheet. Are you saying he only needs one sheet of paper, or is he having one sheet?
One sheet. Him and his E-numbers vaccination.
Oh, good lord. Don't even get me started on that.
So, just for the record, I'd like to point out that is not the views of Nathan or Matt Burns. That is solely the views of Martin the Love Stud Palmer.
Former love stud Palmer.
Yeah, the former love muscle.
He's no longer known as the love muscle or the love stud. He just wants to be called just Martin.
Or Al Diablo.
No, Al Diablo or Silly Bang.
Once she does plenty.
Martin, once she does plenty. Palmer. Oh, that doesn't go right either. That sounds wrong. One sheet Palmer. You know.
There you go. So that's his moniker that's now sorted.
Yeah, there we go. It's officially. Anyway, I'll do the proper introduction. I'm Matt Burns, and across from me, it hasn't been done in a while.
No, I'm tanned.
He's tanned. However, across from me, the man of 1,000 insults.
I went over there as a man, and I've lost half of my... I've come back
Essence.
half the man that went over there.
You left half the insolence there.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, I'll repeat it again. The man across from me, he's been away, he's returned. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Nathan Goff.
Yep, so we're back. There's a twosome.
Really? Yeah,
Because what a lie do you think?
yes, you would.
Yes, I would.
You've lied to me on many occasions.
Put it all in!
Put it all in. And that's not us.
I'm trying.
Where's Nathan? In the back.
No, so we're back, and what a week it's been. You know, I've missed 2 weeks. Well, this 2 weeks, so in my head, I thought I had 2 weeks of wrestling catch up on, and then Matt blows he blows his load and covers half the interesting bits last week.
What do you mean?
You know, just spunked his load everywhere. You know,
Would you like to talk about it? Just so you can get your input on?
that is some points I'd like to.
Because here's
I'd
the
like
thing.
to discuss.
It's
About.
always good to hear I'm about to actually praise you. It's always good to hear another angle, another view, another point.
So, did you discuss Jim Cornette and Vince Russo last week?
Oh God, no! I saved that for you.
Oh yes!
I saved that for you.
Oh, this is brilliant. The best feud in professional wrestling
God.
involves two non-wrestlers. Fucking brilliant. It's like a high school fight that never gets going. So, before I went away, I watched Never Back Down.
Oh God.
So, for those that haven't seen Never Back Down, it's basically about high school kids that get into MMA and then go from unorganised fights to an organised fight and still end up with the actual film finishing in an unorganised fight.
Somehow.
Yeah, so that's a quick synopsis of what Never Back Down is. Now, this is Vince Russo starring in Always Back Down. The man, you know, Jim Cornette is like a 16-year-old schoolyard bully in this instance. Just keeps on asking, begging Vince Russo, you know, just to come out and face him like a man. Whereas Vince Russo has gone like... So it's like the school jock versus like the school geek. And the geek's done what?
Whoa. You can't say that because in all fairness to Cornette has had a lot of stuff said about him from Russo, and Russo stone shots.
Yes.
That his ass can't cash.
Yeah, you know, so... I'm about to put this into perspective. So, from an Americanism point, your typical schoolyard bully, in this case, Cornette, throws some shots.
I wouldn't say he was the bully. Russo fired the shots first. I'm not mistaken.
It's a bit like a chicken and an egg, isn't it?
Pretty much.
You don't know which one came first, you just know both of them exist.
Yeah.
So, you got Cornette, he's fired some shots, and he's challenged him out to a fight, you know, banging on his chest going, me, manly.
It's not...
Whereas Russo's, you know, stood behind someone, said some words, and then ran back. Yeah, he's took his shots, run.
In other words, it's almost like he's gone to a rampage in Nathan saying, "Come at me, bro!"
Yeah, he's basically...
And then just ran off.
Yeah, he's basically gone to the bull. It is a bit of red, even though bulls are colourblind.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting fact from 42.
Yeah, so, and then, as it's running, he's jumped over the wall. Bull's mad, can't get him because he's jumped over the wall. And, you know, eventually, once you start waving that finger too much, you have to put the ball down. In this case, Russo, instead of going like to the teacher or a tranquilizer dart, he's gone and got a restraining order. What the fuck? You know, like, can't mediation sort this shit out? You know, this is like, it's wrestling. But, reality check, it's not real, damn it!
God.
Is it still real to you, sorry?
Why did you upset me? Why?
Oh, I'm sorry, I've made Matt cry.
Never mind,
No,
move on.
but how can you still take, like, because they take it really seriously. It's like, to Cornette, it's like Russo has took a shit on, like, the greatest legacy in the world, and then gone, yeah, I created this. Where to Russo, it's like, yeah, I've done nothing wrong, I've created this. You know, both of you have done some brilliant things, but both of you have produced some fucking shit.
Right. You've both done good and you've both done bad. And the one thing I feel as though that they haven't done is they haven't moved the fuck on.
No, it's still something from 1997. You know, you've basically got Shawn Michaels still posing in Playboy in like the area that they're coming in.
Wait, it's time to quote somebody on this now. This battle, this match has been going on for so long. Schoolboy, roll up, get the fuck out of there!
Yeah, we're basically stuck. You know, the DeLorean is stuck at 87 miles an hour, and it just can't get that 1 mile an hour to get back to like the modern era.
No!
It's like, I don't want to put my foot down for the rest. I'm enjoying this too much. Like, no one's making any money out of this feud. Like, they might make a bit of money from like the podcasts, like from like just tearing the piss out of each other. But you know, it doesn't end in a fight. You can't sell tickets to it, so no one's going to profit from it. So move fucking on.
Get a life, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you know, or unless you can sell tickets to it and sort it out that way, where you can end in a Pier 6 brawl, which I'm pretty sure would still draw a decent crowd. Like, if you're not going to sort it out like that, then just move on. Just stay out of each other. America is a big country. Big country.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's space for both of you on either side of the fucking country.
I'm not disagreeing here. I'm really not. It's just... It's all...
Russo sort of see my point because he took out a restraining order. A restraining order against a 50-something-year-old man. You know, what's he going to do? Bring his tennis racket and spank you?
I'm telling.
But no, so, like, he's halfway there. You know, he's got, this is my half of the country. You stay in yours.
I'm sorry to say this, but you're in a relationship. You're in a relationship with each other.
Yeah. Well, they're just trying to decide who gets to keep the kid. And the kid in this instance is professional wrestling.
Good Lord.
It's like Vince and Dixie Carter trying to settle a divorce. Except Vince would obviously win because Dixie Carter's just slept away with half the kids.
Oh! Or I had somebody else purchase it for them.
Yeah, and by kids I mean wrestlers. I'm just putting that out there. I don't mean like actual kids.
And let him also show for the record, he isn't implying anything, so we don't get sued.
No.
Because, due to take into account, she does have a fat checkbook.
Does she? I thought it kept on bouncing.
It did sort of start bouncing, but I think the second she got rid of the wrestling company...
Has Daddy opened the bank account again?
I think Daddy's reopened the bank account again, so shut the fuck up!
Ah, good old Daddy. Daddy, I want a pony. Daddy, I want a pony.
Here's your pony. Don't want it now.
What are you going to call pony? Impact Wrestling.
No. TNA first.
Right, so now we're on to TNA and Impact Wrestling.
Oh, God.
We might as well go full balls deep.
Right, let's get it over with.
Would you like to talk about the acquisition of, or merger of said wrestling company?
I'll let you continue that on.
Really?
Yep.
He's grabbed his phone, he's like, where's the nearest solicitor?
How did you know?
So, Jeff Jarrett has somehow completed like the most miraculous move to get Global Force Wrestling on television
Wait.
since man walked the moon.
Right. He's basically started a company, got kicked out of it, made another company, and got the first company to buy the second company to have the second company overrule the first company.
Donald Trump should hire him as the head of business.
No shit!
It's like the best piece of business I've ever seen done.
Donald Trump would be like, that's some good business.
It's brilliant. Yeah, so I'm going to create one company that's going to fuck up financially. While that fucks up financially, I'm going to start a new company over here. Well, this one's been bought away from me. And when it's about time when this new company gets a start-up, I'm going to come back with this other company and go, can we get married?
Can we get married and take over your life?
But how was he managed that? What? It is the greatest piece of business I have ever seen. We're looking for a television deal. Oh, Impact Wrestling. Struggling with the name. Could do with some fresh talent. Oh, we've got some nice talent. Why don't we work together? Because we can do anything by working together.
No. That's not the song you pick. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
Like, you could just imagine Jeff Jarrett there going, this is brilliant. Like, this is all my Christmases at once. Yeah, Jeff W's on tally. TNA has completely dissolved into Global Force Wrestling. Because at Slammiversary, it's going to be the formalities of Global Force Wrestling taking over for Impact Wrestling. But this way it gets confusing for people that don't follow it. So Impact Wrestling have actually purchased GFW.
Yes.
Which means they've also got the agreements that come in place because GFW have got agreements with, is it AAA?
Mm-hmm.
They've also got agreements with not New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Nope.
It's Noah, Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yep.
And they've also got some other agreements, I think, with CMLL.
Possibly, but not 100% sure on them ones.
Yeah, but they've got other agreements in place, so working relationships. But how does that benefit Impact Wrestling? Because Impact Wrestling couldn't get them agreements before, or didn't want them agreements. So why does it want it now?
Maybe because somebody isn't running the head of it. Somebody who was supposed to make me a good business maker, but didn't know anything about wrestling, is now gone. Maybe because someone who's possibly assisting and running the place actually knows about wrestling.
So you on about Billy Corgan? Or you on about Dixie Carter?
I was originally initially talking about Dixie.
I'm going to say, because Billy Corgan, from anyone who's done an interview, actually really liked Billy Corgan. Said he had a mind for...
Billy Corgan did have a mind for it. The problem is, Dixie was expecting Corgan to pay her bills, her rent of the office building and everything, and then turn around and say, oh, you have no control, but we want your money.
Yeah.
Fuck the hell off. And a lot of people could say, oh, Billy Corgan was a fool to go into it. Yes, he was. To go into bed with Dixie Carter. Yeah, he was. Because look at the damage she did. She had TNA. Oh, we're losing money, Daddy. Borrows money. Daddy borrows money. Daddy then cuts her off. She then goes to other people, to other television companies, other networks, to the point where she's getting kicked off networks. Spike. Funny thing about it is, do you know why Spike got rid of him? Creative? Do you know the major reason why most of the companies actually got rid of her?
Yeah, due to Vince Russo.
Yeah, due to Vince Russo. The one guy they didn't want to work with. Right? Oh, we're not working with him. Sickly working with him.
Well, they were consulting.
They were consulting with him, which they didn't want. And do you know who let out the cat out the bag?
Go on.
Who? Vince fucking Russo. Russo went to them. Oh, I can help out with this product.
Yeah. Like, Vince Russo can have some good ideas, but he needs to be vetoed first.
He needs to be filtered.
Yeah, and Vince had the time to filter him because Vince likes to know every detail that goes on. I was listening to something that Paul Heyman said.
Yeah.
So Paul Heyman was on about when he was writing SmackDown, how they used to have different like writing meetings, but they were done over the phone, and where you had to check in at certain points. But if you were logged in the call, you could listen to like how they were booking Raw or anything like that. Have you heard this before?
Yeah.
And like he'd just go away usually, or just go asleep until it was time for him to be there for the SmackDown chat. But obviously they weren't supposed to be there for the Raw chat because they were supposed to be competitors. And then one day he just let out a sneeze or something. I forget what he said it was, and they realised someone was on the other end of the phone when he actually wasn't by the phone for that one day. And Stephanie rang him and was like really pissed off, and she was like, "Paul, why were you listening?" And he said to her, "I promise I wasn't listening. However, for the last 6 weeks before, damn fucking right I was listening."
It's competition.
But Vince Russo's the same, you know. Well, if he can get hands up on something or a heads up, he will, because.
But the problem is with him trying to get the heads up, he actually lost his own fucking business with Impact Wrestling. Again, he shot himself in the foot. And then when they had to move to another company, oh look, I'm going to get involved again. Did more damage. But Dixie wouldn't get rid of him. Dixie only got rid of him when it got to the point where it was literally, if you don't get rid of him, you've lost your company, you've pretty much lost everything, the wrestlers don't want to be around because you're in financial disarray.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're not listening to what's being said. And that was the thing with it. Right? Now, anyway, shall we actually get back to the original conversation, seeing as we've gone way off topic?
Interesting topic, though.
Very interesting topic. You want to talk about Slammiversary?
Well, the merger.
And the merger.
It was more the merger, it's just taking place at Slammiversary.
Yes. What's your view on it?
I would have liked them to say it's two separate companies, because now you're merging probably two of the biggest companies in America into one.
GFW isn't a big company.
It is, though.
It's considered a big company, but it's not got any TV or anything.
No, but you don't have to be a TV to be
agreed in some
big
degree.
Company. Because if you look at their talent pool, so they had Chris Adonis and everyone like that at the time. They also had Drew Galloway before Impact Wrestling had him. Mm-hmm. And you look at some of the other stars that they had at the time. Now, some of the stars, neither the company has now because they've gone to NXT.
Now, have you noticed how the GFW titles got quickly stripped? Originally.
Yes.
And now gone to the Latin American Exchange. Do you know why the titles had to be stripped?
Because that's going to be the main title after Slammiversary.
What?
The GFW title is going to be the main title after
Yeah,
Slammiversary.
correct. But before, they brought the champions in. They were actually vacant. Right?
Mm.
Do you know why they had to be made vacant?
Well,
because the actual original champions couldn't defend them. Do you know why they couldn't defend them?
Go on.
What other company?
Under contract to Ring of Honor?
Nope.
WWE?
Yep.
Who's the original GFW? Was that Drew Galloway?
Nope.
Go on.
You ready for this? Who's the current WWE champion?
WWE champion Jinder Mahal?
Yeah. And who does he have with him?
The Singh brothers?
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, they were tag team champions.
They were the GFW tag team champions.
Right, okay.
They had to be possibly stripped of them because they can't defend them while under contract under WWE.
Even though WWE is going a little bit more lax with this thingy. So,
however, I think they
come
wouldn't...
on, Tack, I don't know if you covered that last week.
What's that?
about the UK Championship?
No. You can talk about that. We actually missed quite a bit off.
We'll talk about that afterwards.
And here's the thing. As much as you can say that they are being a bit lax and everything with it, they will not be lax with Jeff Jarrett.
No, because it's same country competition.
It's not just that. WWE will not do business with Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, yeah.
Highly doubtful for a long, long time. Do you know why?
No.
You don't know why?
No.
WWE made a very, very big mistake.
Yes.
Right? Do you remember when China became the Intercontinental Champion?
Yeah.
Who did she beat?
Jarrett.
Yeah. Did you know that Jarrett was technically not under contract at that time?
No.
Yeah. So what did he do?
Go on.
He held the title for ransom.
Right.
He basically told them he had to pay him so much to do the event, and he almost no-showed it. So basically, they ended up having to pay him what he wanted and everything just to get him on the show to lose to China. Extra, because the contract had expired.
But is that his fault?
Not really, I agreed. However, he wasn't going to renew it.
Yeah, but
So-
again, is that his fault?
No, it's not. It should have been dealt with sooner. I agree with you. However, the fact that he actually held him up for ransom for a large sum of money, it's not very, very clever.
I know, but he would have seen it in his eyes, and I don't mean this degrading.
Yeah.
But losing to China would have done his credibility at the time no good.
Correct.
So he wanted financially compensating for what he was going to have to recover, because presumably he was going WCW at the time.
Yes, he was, which he was getting a big fat paycheck for it.
Yeah, but he was going to have to rebuild his credibility up, because going WCW...
No. What we're talking about is Jeff Jarrett almost got the money,
and then just didn't turn up.
almost considered not turning
Yeah,
up.
but...
So because of it, when he eventually got pulled in by some other workers to, sort of got told, listen, do the job, and he ended up doing the job, which is fair enough because he got the right money and everything, understandably. But straight away, as soon as it was done, thing just go. Vince, he pretty much came out in the back, got to the back. Vince pretty much met him and said, "Here's your money, get out my sight." Didn't want to see him again.
Yeah, but Vince will mend bridges with anyone come the right time.
True, but I can't see it with Jeff Jarrett at the moment as well, because Jeff has fired quite a number of shots.
Yeah, but so did Bischoff at the time. Vince is a businessman, and if it comes time
for business, he'll take it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed. So that's Slammiversary. Let's move on, because one of the interesting points. So we've just discussed Slammiversary, the merging of a company. Now I want to talk about what is going to be a pretty historic event. For the first time ever, a WWE title is going to be defended on someone else's pay-per-view.
Yep.
That is massive.
Yeah. Not many times you get that offer.
No. It seems like WWE have got like a working agreement with ICW,
Yes, they do.
which is a different argument, which I will discuss shortly. So, on the positives, so you've got the commissioner for Fear and Loathing,
Yep.
which is
Big sexy Kevin Nash.
yeah. You also had a working agreement with Finn Balor where he made an appearance.
That was at the last Fear and Loathing.
Yeah. They've had other WWE superstars like still be able to work with them. So Wolfgang and Pete Dunne.
Noam Dar.
Yeah, Noam Dar is coming back for Shrugs.
Shug's House Party.
Yeah, so he will be there for that. And then after, they have allowed the UK Championship to be defended on ICW television.
Yep.
Mark Dallas has done himself, on one hand, a big favour. I will discuss the other hand afterwards. But
Yeah.
that's a good piece of business
Yeah.
for him.
It is.
for him.
Yeah. I know exactly where you're going to lead with this.
Now, what my problem is with this is, even though it's a good piece of business and it's nice for the business, it shows that WWE is willing to look after the independents.
Yeah.
It doesn't go with ICW's image. ICW a couple of years ago was all fuck WWE, you know, we're here, we're for the people.
Yep.
Now, it's practically it's jumped into bed with WWE.
That it has.
Like, it's basically...
True. It's almost like you say, what you're trying to say is WCW jumping into bed with WWE.
No, it isn't like that. It's, you know, like, it's lost its identity. And I don't like to say that, because it's still putting out a good product. But when you give it so much of fuck WWE, like this and that, and then you are practically, like, using their talent to put your own show back over.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Definitely. It's
like fraternising with the enemy.
Yeah. It is.
They set the store out early saying, like, they wanted to be different from WWE, whereas now
it's almost becoming clear that it's becoming the same.
What it isn't becoming the same, because it's still there for
Not
like
really.
adults, but it's getting into bed with WWE.
Yes. Which, if I'm not mistaken, a number of companies have actually paid quite a bit of a fee to be involved, and I think there was talk of having some of their shows on the WWE network. So most likely, anything that's on the WWE network, the championship belts will be defended on.
Yeah, but
I know what you're saying.
For a company that hasn't gone anti-WWE before, like, you don't mind that, but ICW was there as an alternative.
Yeah, it's almost like ECW.
Yeah,
In a way, it was basically it's almost like ECW getting into bed with Bischoff.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. And we all know how much ECW hated WCW.
But it's also like ICW's main crowd is like the Smarks, and half the Smarks there hate WWE.
They do. They do. Some of them do. But here's the thing. On some of them, they've literally stated that Mark Dallas has even had conversations with WWE, saying, because of Mick Foley not turning up, we're sorry we can't get you Mick Foley. We can get him on a video and everything, so that sort of thing, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, but it isn't just that. It's like they like start touting accomplishments of people now, saying like, we've got a WWE champion coming in and this and that, whereas before it was like, no, WWE have like done this on us, but I've managed to get you this, whereas now it's due to his commitments with WWE we haven't been able to get this. However, they have sent us quite an amicable replacement. Like before, it used to be fuck Vince McMahon.
Fuck this, fuck that, yeah. And it's not. It's turned into sort of, we're towing the line.
Yeah.
In your mind, which to some, yes, it is. They are towing the line, and a lot of the thing is, they've probably done that for the smart business for themselves.
Yeah, but in the long term, is it going to hurt them?
Would you say no to getting into business with WWE?
If it took away your core fan base, then yes.
Yes, but if it gained you the WWE fan base,
but it ain't going to gain you the WWE fan base, is it?
True.
The WWE fan base, even though in Great Britain it does have a large following, it's a largely American market, whereas this is a British company. So because ICW isn't on television, it's an on-demand service.
Yeah.
Like, you have to look at where your core purchasing power is.
Yeah. Agreed.
And ICW isn't trying to sell tickets in America, it's trying to sell tickets in Scotland and England.
Actually, they are. They do. When they are doing events over here. They do. But not for ICW. Agreed. And here's the thing. I can agree with you on some... Half of it, I agree.
I'm happy to see the title be defended in an English company. Because that's what it needed. Because it just felt like another European Championship being defended in the States.
Which
isn't right.
Which it wasn't even getting defended. It's not been getting defended. You can see the build-up now with the number one contendership, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Because you've got like Wolfgang going for the number one contendership.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. And it's BT Gunn versus Wolfgang, right, for the number one contendership. So eventually it's going to be the title versus against either Wolfgang or BT Gunn. So that'll be an interesting one, But the difference is WWE going to be okay with BT Gunn going for the title?
No, it'll be Wolfgang.
Potentially.
Because Wolfgang is a
WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
Which straight away then, it's just spoiled the result. We know who's going to be fighting for that title.
We always knew he was going to be fighting for the title.
True, but it doesn't make it any easier, does it?
No, but no. So moving on from that, because it's a victory, but it's a loss at the same time.
In some degrees, yes, it's a victory and also a loss at the same time, because in your eyes, it's the company's identity is gone.
It's going,
and it feels like it's losing itself.
Yeah,
at times it needs to have a reminder, which it has been at times with other matches, but the major point is going to be that title.
Yeah.
Now the question is, that I'll point out straight away, is answer me this. This is one question that Mark Dallas has probably not been asked yet, and I'm going to ask it now, right? Because he may not be listening to this or not. Who knows? And this is the one question I need to ask. Which one in your mind is worth more to you? Your ICW World Heavyweight title or the WWE British UK title?
Well, the answer to that should be pretty straightforward.
What?
It should be your own title. You should never put anyone else's title before your own.
But he may have to.
He won't.
He may have to, due to certain agreements.
But he won't. I can't see him putting.
You may not be able to see it yet, but Vince might be the one just saying, if you don't do this...
I think Triple H has been the brains behind the agreement. It seems like a Triple H deal.
Potentially. But, you never know. But anyway, shall we move on from that?
Yes. So I want to discuss, just very quickly, the women's Money in the Bank.
Yep.
Because obviously I wasn't here when you discussed it. I just want to have my view on it. Obviously they did the match again on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And this time, actually having Carmella bring the belt down herself.
Yeah.
Do I like the way the match finished on the Sunday? Yes.
Right.
I thought it was very clever because it leads up to probably an intergender match between Becky Lynch and James Ellsworth.
Yes.
I know what they're building for. I understand why people got angry, but you have to look at the bigger picture.
True, but I think it was more or less the fact of it being their first one.
Yeah, but look at it this way. If a woman had climbed up to the top of the mail briefcase and pulled it down and passed it to their man, would there have been a problem?
On the very first one?
Yeah.
Possibly. If it was done on the first one. Possibly. But then again, on the very first one, it was record breaking, so it might not have been noticed. But if it was the other way around, I actually agree with you.
So, yeah. So, why...
Just give us a minute. It's sounding like I've got a bit of a fly right now. I'll just swat it.
Yeah, not a problem. But no, so I understand why it was done, and why it was, so why it happened. So that was that. and the right result was there. Carmella got the thingy. Hopefully, we see Carmella win the belt. It'd be nice, like, because the heel work's getting on. What I'd like to see is Cass end up on SmackDown.
Be interesting, especially
because now both of them are heels now.
Yes.
It'd be interesting to see like the work that they could do together.
True.
I've got a feeling Ellsworth's run's coming towards
an end.
Yeah. He's made his money out of WWE. WWE made the money out of him. It's time to let him go free into the wild.
Let him free.
Yeah.
Let him be with his no chin.
But that'll come when WWE's ready to let him be one with nature again.
Agreed.
So, where would you like to cover now in wrestling?
Me?
Yes. Have you discussed the miracle of Mike Bennett? Mike Kanellis.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. The man, he is the miracle! Mike Bennett.
What the fuck has happened with that gimmick? Who thought that was a good idea? Mike Bennett must be in the back going, can I have my balls back, please?
Please, let me have my balls back.
His balls are well and truly under lock and key in Vince McMahon's safe. What?
Basically, Vince McMahon...
It's just bought him back. It's just bought him in so we can have Maria.
So we can have Maria. And he doesn't trust in Bennett's name that much.
Oh no, I understand why he's done this. Because he can own the right to Mike Kanellis.
Yeah.
He can't own the right to Mike Bennett. Even though he doesn't own the rights to Maria's name.
But he gets Bennett's.
He can have Mike
Kanellis.
Yeah. So that's why that's happened. Like, his wrestling debut needs to be one of the most one-sided debuts where he just absolutely wipes the floor with the other person. Otherwise, he's going to look like the biggest idiot on God's earth.
And you know who they might be lining him up with a feud against?
Go on.
Sami Zayn.
SmackDown's resident jobber.
Yeah. And there's talk of Zayn beating him. Potentially.
No, Bennett needs to win, and he needs to win convincingly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it looks like a smock.
Did you actually watch his debut?
What?
Did you hear how much abuse he's been getting off JBL? Have you not heard?
I watched his debut, I just don't listen to the JBL bit.
Why? Because you think he's a bully?
No, I'd just rather not listen to the... I'd just rather not listen to the commentary team at times. I think JBL's the best part about the commentary team. The other two bore the shit out of me.
Oh. Did you hear the good news about NXT that we announced?
Yes, so you've got Mauro Ranallo coming back. Do you know who's calling the Women's Classic, the Mae Young Classic?
Would that be Lita?
And JR.
And JR. Did you know that JR was almost going to be calling Slammiversary?
Yeah.
There was literally a thingy. His guys were in talks with this. He was considering it, and then all of a sudden DB came in. Please don't sue. Anyway, back to where we are. I will say this. Great. I'm absolutely fantastic. I'm actually quite happy. I'm actually interested in seeing how it plays out. However, they're actually already getting some of it started already on the WWE Network by having some of the qualifying matches already.
Yeah.
So we do recommend you check them out.
But no, just there's some interesting stuff going on at the moment. I don't always understand what WWE do. One of the final things I'd like to cover before we go on to whatever you want to cover is the return of Braun Strowman. Never has one person been needed as much as Braun Strowman.
I'm not done with you.
While I was away, I had some time to have some contemplation.
We covered
And
this.
I look back and I'm like, how many stars has Raw created over 2 drafts? So back when it started in 2002.
Uh-huh.
Now, can you think of how many stars Raw's created?
Go
Go on, think hard, because you're going to have to think hard.
Carry on.
So, just Braun Strowman. An argument could be made for Shelton Benjamin, but anyone in any time WWE's been split into a brand,
Randy Orton.
not really SmackDown, Legend Killer.
No, he actually.
He started
Evolution.
to be billed on Raw with
No, he was
Evolution,
yeah.
but his main event, like,
Status.
proper push, because Triple H buried the fuck out of him after he won the World Championship.
Win the championship next month.
Drops championship.
By Golden Shovel.
Yeah, Triple H, like, sort of derailed that push. Otherwise, Randy Orton, in my eyes, would have been a star. You could argue for Batista, even though I think he was more legitimised when he was on SmackDown.
No. Batista, yeah. I agree with Batista.
But
Batista is one.
you can make an argument for Shelton Benjamin.
Potentially.
But Braun
Is,
Strowman,
is this to introduce a new star?
yes.
Right, so we can't say Goldberg.
So Braun Strowman is legitimately one of the very few stars Raw has created.
Oh, I knew who Raw's created.
Go on.
Austin. The Rock.
I said when it was split into brands.
Ah, right, okay.
So Braun Strowman. Now when he got injured, gone, on there. Like legitimately he is
Samoa Joe. Seth Rollins.
NXT.
Seth Rollins?
NXT.
Doesn't count. The Shield.
Raw and SmackDown when they were not a brand split.
No. Don't take that away from me.
I am taking it away from you.
No.
But Raw's legitimately made Braun Strowman into a star. However,
CM Punk?
SmackDown,
Oh no, can't SmackDown.
you can keep thinking, you just won't find one.
I know, because each time I say your name, it's just going to get. It's either going to be before the brand split or SmackDown.
Yeah. But no, it's because SmackDown creates stars and then they go to Raw to try boost up the ratings. It's become a star, go be a mid-carder on Raw. Unless your name's Edge or John Cena. Or Kurt Angle.
Or Triple H.
Yeah, Triple H doesn't work Tuesdays.
Or Brock Lesnar.
I'll let you have Brock Lesnar for Raw.
I only just thought about it just.
But no.
Actually can't. I actually can't. You just gave me one and I can't take it
Why?
before the brand split. God damn it!
No, okay.
And you can't count him because technically he was nullified from the brand split. So when they did the brand split, he was their champion.
Yeah, no. So, but Braun Strowman is, it's not the hero we want, but it's the hero we need in this time of crisis.
So you want one the Strowman. Folks, let me just point this out. If you want to be mentally scarred, please look that up. If you don't, and you're below the age of 18, do not look that up.
You really don't want to see
You don't
Braun
want to look that up.
Strowman in cosplay.
No!
Like, you can't unsee that sort of thing. But no, Braun Strowman is a necessary evil that we need at the moment.
Yeah.
Because he puts on good matches, moves really well for a big guy.
Yes.
And love him or hate him, if you put him in a feud, he's going to get a reaction which is what it's all about. And while he was gone, the Raw was just missing that thing.
Yeah.
You know, people stop when Braun Strowman comes to the tally because he's big, but he's so improved. Like, it's literally like 1999, and you've got the Big Show just there. It feels fresh. Like,
Yeah.
we haven't seen a legitimately good big guy that can move. I know you're going to go Big Cass, but Big Cass doesn't have that physical presence. He's like skinny tall, like CM Punk was skinny fat. Well, Cass is skinny tall.
I thought you were going to say tall and short. I thought you were going to say tall and short then. I don't know why.
No, but it's like skinny tall. It's like it's yes, he's imposing heart wise, but build wise, you're like, well, where's the rest of him?
Where's the rest of you?
And like you got Jinder Mahal, who looks like he's been doing roids for the last 2 years.
However, he does actually state that he hasn't been doing roids,
No,
and we are not implying
No,
that
but
in any way.
It's just a look, and you know, like if he says he isn't, then benefit of the doubt, fair play to him.
Yeah,
But
and he has been showing some of his hard work with video footage and everything and whatnot.
who else has got a big imposing structure there at the moment, but just doesn't fit? Like Braun Strowman's one of the most legitimate big guys that we've got. Now with Kane, Undertaker missing, Big
Here's the
Show
thing
as
for
well.
you. Straight away, I will point out right now to do with Strowman why he's so useful. Everyone at the moment is hating on Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Why? Because WWE haven't been able to humanise him.
Do you know what I thought was brilliant? When Strowman chucked him off the stage and
Into the ambulance.
That's like fair play.
It was one of them. Yeah, you can hit me. I can do this.
Get over here!
Pretty much just lugged him.
It was like, I don't care if you want to go into it or not. You are going
Into
into
it. And here's the thing, straight away, the commentators, when Strowman threw him in the ambulance, the first thing that they noticed, how easy did he throw him in
Yeah.
to the ambulance. Now here's the thing, he's a big threat. Now, I can see that WWE have already pushed certain feuds forward, like, you know, a certain Samoan versus Lesnar. Don't pull that trigger.
In all fairness, I hope Strowman v Reigns closes out Great Balls of Fire.
I do. And I hope, and I don't know why, I want Strowman to win.
Yeah.
Because as good as Roman is, he needs to be humanised.
As I've said, Strowman is not the hero we want. He is the hero that we need.
He's the villain we need.
Anyone that can take Super Roman down to normal level is a hero in my book.
Fair enough. That's your views. But here's the thing. Roman is a big guy. However, do you know what I loved about it more than anything?
Well,
When he made his appearance. And I will say this. You see Strowman look up. Kicks open the doors. I'm not done with you. And then Samoa Joe comes in from behind and just
the coquina clutch.
proper makes him pass out. Straight away there. You've just put over Joe. In a big way. Because Roman Reigns hasn't beat Joe. Has he?
No. Well, Roman Reigns still hasn't beat Samoa Joe.
Correct. And that's what's so good about it. Because that puts a bit of doubt on for the finger. Because if you notice, did you watch this week's episode of Raw when he locked in his chokehold on Lesnar? Did Lesnar instantly break out of it?
No.
What happened?
He went.
He was going. It was taking a good while. He was going.
Like, I hope their fight's like a shoot between a wrestling and an MMA style.
I want them to bring the old Joe.
Yeah.
Let Joe be Joe. Let Joe be an absolute wrecking machine.
Well, it'll be interesting. Now, I'm conscious of time, you know, so I think that's where we're going to end this week.
We're going to have to end it this week. However, just to point out, tomorrow we are actually in Dudley.
Doodley?
Dudley.
Doodley.
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 Doodly.
Who's Doodley?
That'll be you.
Dudley?
Dudley.
Doodley.
We're in Dudley.
Doodley.
Dudley.
Doodley.
Dudley.
Doodley?
Dudley.
Okay.
In other words, get the tables! Right, we're in Dudley tomorrow because we are at Pro Wrestling Subjective. So if anybody wants to check them out, we do recommend it. Check out on Facebook if you want the name of the show, so you can actually find the venue if you're interested in coming down and watching the show. It's Pro Wrestling Subjective Vendetta. So if anybody is interested in that, we do recommend it. You know, it's a brand new show, but all the talent that are on there are top quality.
All established names.
All established names, and we do recommend it. You know, if you fancy checking out some local wrestling, we do recommend that. We will be in attendance, so if you actually see us, if you come down and see us there, you know, if you want to speak to us, you're more than welcome to.
Yep. Also, shout out to our usual places, so UK Wrestling Fan Zone, the UKWA, also our friends over at the Cartoon Drawing Wrestlers.
Yes, that would be the South Park guy,
Yep.
Which he's agreed. He's on Twitter at the South Park guy. But if you actually check up under the check out all the companies under the UKWA, you'll actually be covered.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Team 4-Star and Botchamania, as well as Changes.
That correct. And is there anything else you want to give out?
No.
Any shout outs to?
No, that's fine. So that's all the shout outs done for this time.
Actually, I just want to give one shout out because I actually mentioned it in today's episode.
Yeah.
It's a YouTube channel by the name of 42. I'll repeat that.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to know any interesting facts for, you know, just for knowledge and everything, just check him out. And that's on YouTube.
Yes. So, no, you can check all that out. So, that's it from me, Nathan Goff. Across from me, my Chewy Burns is
Matt Burns!
Okay. Matthew Burns.
Matt Burns. However, you can actually find it if you actually fancy getting in touch with us. You can actually get in touch with us through all of our social media ports.
Facebook and Outlook. Also, we have Instagram, and we also have Twitter. If you want to find us, just search either Wrestling's 4-4 or The Burning Truth, and you'll be able to find us. If you want to find Matt Burns, you can find him selling merch on street corners or at a venue near you.
I don't sell merchandise on street corners or anything.
I swear I saw you as a lucky man while I was in Benidorm.
That's not me.
Hats, glasses, Trevor Bowers.
That's not me. Because there was no way I'll be in Benidorm. I've been working my graft here. Making sure to get interviews done.
I saw Big Bird being sold by someone, and I'm like, Matt!
What? I haven't done anything.
Like Big Bird on a street corner.
Right. Anyway, back onto our work. I will say, if we are not live next week, we will have a pre-recorded episode prepared. So we're hoping to keep an episode for you as much as possible every week. So we are going to be aiming to have an episode ready for you every Saturday at 9.
Yes.
So that it'll either be with myself, Nathan Goff, or just myself, or if you have any special guests or anything.
Yeah, I suppose I can mail you one sheet over.
One sheet does plenty.
One sheet does fuck all. Because he's going to be doing an interview soon.
What? Explain this one.
Yeah, between me, myself, and Pam and her 5 friends.
We are not having that interview aired at all. That will be locked in. That will be locked that would be locked, deleted, and eviscerated. Just, because yes, we do like to, to speak our minds and have views and everything. However, even we have to turn the line there.
Do we?
Yes, we do.
Oh, right. So Albion browsers up and tell them that sponsorship deal's out the way.
Oh, no. That's fine. That's fine. Anyway,
right, folks, have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend. We'll catch you next week. And as always, check out your local wrestling.
Bye, folks.
Catch you later.